Yay. Okay. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. The literally last day of the month, last Tuesday of the month, last payday of the month, um, and the last day before we go into September, which is insane. Um, the year has gone literally like so fast for me. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it was just January. Now it's literally almost September. Last day to earn Vegas. Congrats to those of you guys who already have. And don't give up. Don't give up now. A lot can happen on the last day. I've actually seen more volume go into someone's business on the last day than the whole month. So anything is possible. Super excited. Obviously, if you guys do not know who Chastity Marie is, then you're either really new, or you haven't been plugging in. She is one of our amazing uplines, and not only that, but just an amazing human. And I can't wait for you guys to hear her story because we have new people signing all the time, and there's a lot of we have great uplines, honestly, and we don't always get to know people's backgrounds and their story and their history. So, Chas, I'm gonna let you take over and talk as long as you can. Let me know if you have to step away, and then
We just
I
everything
could
just
fill it in.
finished. Yeah, everything just finished up, so we got that taken.
Oh, yay! Okay,
yeah, so it should be good. Should be good. Hey, I want to take just a second just to kind of plug. Jason Kemper just posted our product call tonight. This is a great time. If someone has told you lately, I don't know how to restart. I don't know how to get started again. I don't know where I am. Send them tonight's call so that they can just get back on. I don't know how many of y'all are old school enough that you remember back in the day when we used to send text message and said, get on the corporate call. Like in the beginning, Lisa, we didn't have bots. We didn't have Messenger. We traveled uphill in the snow on a dinosaur. Not really. But, we used to send those messages out. And I want to put a challenge out to you. Today is the end of the month. Send those messages out, even if those promoters, and I even challenge you to go a step farther and do it for a text message. They're going to see their text message. Maybe they've muted Facebook for whatever reason, but send them a message. Tonight is going to be a product call. I'd love for you to get on. I already have a list of people that started with me. This goes into just a little bit about my story. I've been thriving since 2014. So, I'm always looking for ways to get people back on board. And hey, listen, maybe they don't kick it back off and jump into high gear tonight. Maybe they will decide that, tomorrow's a new month. I've been wanting to get started again. I heard that call. I still hear Jason's fire. I still hear that we're on the bleeding edge of technology. So be sure you do that. The other thing, Lisa, I wanted to really challenge everybody, be watching your team pages. We are coming to a city near you, hopefully. We're actually going to, I don't want to take time doing that, but guys, we're getting to you. If it's not in your local area, is it in your area of people that you can plug into, like our Friday night event and our Saturday training? So let's pack the room. I'm not worried about quantity. I'm worried about quality, and I want to put people in the room that are hungry. That's just my focus. So Lisa, I guess this is our leadership call, and I just have to say thank you for doing this call for, I don't know how many years you've shown up for this call. And it's just always so important because this call is an opportunity for us as leaders not to come to California, not to talk about our success and talk about all the greatness of us, but it's a good call that I love to plug into because I get to hear that the 200Ks, 80Ks that get on these calls, that they still have those ups and downs, that they still have those life struggles. Friends, success, a great product, it doesn't immune, pun intended, you from the attacks of stress on your body, the attacks of that life coming in and happening. Just like Lisa said, last night I was fine to do this call, then something happened this morning. So just one thing after another. And even, you won't ever If you're working to have, if I could just have enough money in the bank, if I could just find the right promoter, if I could just make this rank, I would just be set. I'm here to tell you, friends, that doesn't take away all your problems. So going back, I want to just share a little bit of why I started this little journey. And I started in 2014. And at the time, I was a computer engineer. I worked on computers. I worked on servers, any equipment, telecom, anything that made what I said the world go round. I did it. And as long as it was good and functioning, all the lights were blinking green and not red, everything was good. And so to be honest, I loved my career. To backtrack just a little bit, I barely graduated high school. I literally got pregnant the summer before my senior year, and I was looking at going to alternative school. I was looking at doing something that could just fast track me through high school. I wasn't into the popularity groups and all those things. I was just into, I need to make a living for my family. So for me, I had the father of my children had together, we had 2 daughters, and we started our family by the time I was 16, 17 years old, and life was just happening fast. And so for me, I grew up with a lot of struggles, a lot of oppositions as a child. And so I've always operated in survival mode. And going through my teenage years, I was a little hellion. I always say I wore the jumpsuit, but it was not the orange one, and it wasn't in big jail. I say little jail, but I was a teenage runaway. And anytime life threw something at me, I always struggled to find a solution. I was fight or flight. I grew up very, very fast. And so for me, I've always had that overcomer personality. And a lot of times I see in this business that regardless of what it was that you walked through, maybe you were rejected as a child, and the first time someone rejects you in this business, it hits hard. Or maybe you were overly edified and you were the golden child, and we see it in this business where then that leader, can do no wrong and no one can tell them anything. So there's so many different things that I love watching people's personalities and going, oh my gosh, this probably, now that they've shared their story with me, I can identify that this is what causes them to be an overachiever. This is what causes them to not take no for an answer, or this is what causes them to not be able to take advice from anybody else because they just grew up and knew it all. So, when you look at a lot of the leaders that have had success, and a lot of people that, I always find it interesting, what's their story? So for me, when I was introduced to the product, I didn't have this mindset of, this product won't work for me. This business can't work for me. I really honestly hadn't even thought about the business side. I was literally looking to feel better. And I can tell you right now, people are searching, people are desperate. They're wanting to know, what do I put in my body? What should I be using right now? The seasons are going to change. It's going to start to get colder. It's going to get damp. We're going to go into flu season. What can I take to help keep my body strong? They're looking for you to be the product expert. Now you may say, I'm not a product expert. That's not my jam. Well, guess what? They are looking to you for advice. And so, I really encourage you, as you're going into tonight and to tomorrow, if you've seen any of my posts, I'm really keying in. We don't make medical claims. We don't, Thrive does not cure, finances do not cure anything, but they can help us. And we know, whether you believe in science, whether you believe in earth, wind, rain, God, whatever it is, that there is proven benefits from a lot of different things. So tap into using not just Thrive, or not just I'm putting my vitamins on, or Hey Flex Friday. Make sure you're talking about the ingredients that people are hearing from other different places. They're not just hearing it from Thrive anymore. And so for me, when I started, I was looking for a product expert. Now, I will say that I was looking for something that I felt like it was only the good stuff if it came with a prescription. And again, no medical claims, but that was just my mentality. I've never felt vitamins work. I've never felt anything other than, you know, seeing my urine change color, that maybe that vitamin went all the way through the body. I didn't feel those things. And so, but I had already decided it's important. I'm getting older and I want to take care of myself. So backtrack a little bit. The person that introduced me to Thrive, y'all know, is Amber, our leader. If y'all don't know Amber Maquist, she is my sponsor. She's my friend. And as that teenage runaway, she was my confidant. She was that person that loved to help other people. She loved to, you know, if someone needed something, she was going to be a fixer. She was going to be a nurturer. And so for me, that troubled teen, you know, she was always there with the pickup ride. She's like, girl, where are you now? So, you know, it's so crazy how that was teenagers, 15, 14 years old, and the connection, just the fact that we stayed together. So when someone says, you know, they didn't try Thrive with me just yet, they, you can look at that. Someone do the math from 15 years old to 37, 38, whenever I started. I don't remember when I started the product, you know, but how many years did it literally take for me to start thriving? And she didn't know about Thrive before then, but it sometimes takes that long of time for people to trust you. And I know it's frustrating, but unless you've been where they are, you don't know their financial background. You don't know, you know, have they taken vitamins and they, you know, now they're being told they don't work, whatever their reasoning for not deciding that this is what they need. You know, you've just got to wait until it's their time. And I know I get a lot of people that say, I'm so sick of y'all saying it's timing, it's timing. Lisa, I think you could, you know, attest to this, that you've been in this industry a lot longer than I have. It really is. But I will say this, when it was time, it was go time. And I'm going to tell you that had Amber waited to send me some product, had she kind of blew me off, had she been busy with her kids, which she hadn't, her kids were younger at the time, had she not taken the time to address everything I needed right then, she would have lost me. She would have lost my interest. Because I'm going to tell you guys, and I know this to be true, I've read statistics, we are always thinking about us first. No matter how caring and loving and concerned you are, we really think about ourselves first. You know, think about that time when you take a picture, and I do this all the time. Everybody always calls me on it. You take a photo and you're like, hey, I want to see it. And you act like you want to see everybody in the photo. Now, y'all tell me if I'm just the only one who does this. You want to see everybody in the photo, but secretly you're zooming in to see how you look, right? Like you want to know that you're looking fly in that photo, and everybody else can have like their booty sticking out where it makes them look double wide, or their eyes are closed, or their tongue's hanging out. But if you look good, you're like, post it, honey. No hashtag, no filter. But that's just our human nature. And so, you know, we definitely, you know, want to always be looking out for others, but it's a default. It's just something that's programmed. And I used to think that was selfish until I got on an airplane several years back, and oh, good, I'm making y'all laugh. I knew y'all needed some Tuesday entertainment. When Lisa and I get together, we should be like the Blondie and Brownie show, because we really are funny. Okay. But the thing is, when I got on that airplane and they're telling you, in case of an emergency, put your mask on first. Guys, that's so true in life. Now, it doesn't say when you take a selfie, check yourself first. That's just total vanity there. But you've got to take care of yourself. So I knew for me that I was having to show up as a mom. I had kids in high school at the time. I was having to show up on call corporate America. I was a abuela, still am a abuela, but a new abuela. That's grandma. There's your Spanish for the day. I was, you know, a daughter, a wife, all those things that I was that were pulling from me, but I was absolutely depleted. Something I've shared and I've told you guys many times, I'm very open and transparent with, is I'm a big advocate on mental health and keeping your mind strong. And So as I was learning about, again, no medical claims, this is way before Thrive, learning about seasonal association disorder, which is SAD, learning that I would have these seasons every single year at this certain time that I would just go spiral downhill. And so that's why I developed, learning as a technique to counteract those seasons in my life. And, give me sunshine and summer and a swimming pool, I'm good to go. Give me beach vibes, all that, but cold, weird, dreary, rainy, and I just implode. So I decided I didn't want that anymore. And so I was introduced to this product, and as skeptical as I was, friends, as much as I thought, this is not going to work. I had offered Amber other things, and she didn't want to help me. And we tease about this now. She wasn't interested because other people had talked to her about stuff. I'm like, I'm not helping you, girl. You wouldn't listen to what I had to offer. So I had the skepticism, I had the attitude, and probably the head roll. I mean, I was just like all kinds of a hard person. And when she said, you've got to try it, I trusted her because we had that relationship from back in the day. And so I said, okay, I'll try it. All it took was that open door for me to experience the product. That's what you have to remember. Let the product do the work for you. I did a 3-way call yesterday, and a girl was having some trouble, to be honest, with her shape mix. And I love how Courtney Good always says, oh, if you're, feeling, some people say they have a headache, they feel nauseous. I used to freak out. I freaked out in the beginning. And Courtney's like, that means it's doing something. I'm like, yeah, you're right. If you have diarrhea, it's working. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. We won't put this one in the cloud. But it's so crazy how we go, it's working. How many times can you feel your vitamins working and doing something? Now let's figure out what's going on. And so for me, I got the product from Amber. I was 30 days working from home. I put on that DFT and I messaged her and I said, hey, thanks for your product, but it doesn't work. It didn't do anything. I'm still laying in the bed. I still am a hot mess. I mean, tell me, what else do you want to convince me? And she's like, okay. So she steps through. She's like, okay, you capsules on an empty stomach. I'm like, no, because the product arrived in the mailbox at, midday. So I didn't want to take it because you said when my feet hit the floor. And I'm at that point, I don't know if y'all have heard that. I think it's like 5-Finger Death Punch. It's like, or I don't know what song, but they're like, let the bodies hit the floor, let the butt, like that's not my jam, but Pat loves that kind of music. Call it devil music. And it's like, let the butt, that was me. So when we tell people before your feet hit the floor, it was like when my body hits the floor, okay? Like the whole body, not just the feet. And so I said, the product came in. Yes, drowning pool. See, I know which Pat would just love you guys. So the product came in at, after lunch. So I couldn't take those capsules. And I didn't really want the shake because I'm not a shake person. So I just put on the DFT. And at the time, it was a regular DFT. It was a green DFT at the time. And she's like, well, you need to try all 3 steps. I'm like, girl, thank you for thinking of me. I'll send you your product back. She's like, you've got to try it right. Well, y'all heard the story. If you haven't, this is a true story. I had a run already scheduled. Remember, I was already trying to overcome the exhaustion. I was trying to overcome the mood. I was trying to overcome my spiral and my implosion. And so I was already preparing for the things I needed to do. So I had a 10K scheduled on that next Saturday, and I got her initial package on Friday. And I said, look, I'm going to tell you something, friend. I am on social media. I don't remember if we were on Facebook. Facebook was barely becoming a thing, I think. And I'm like, but here's the thing. If this shake makes my stomach hurt, I'll probably be we didn't have reels and story at the time, like uphill and stuff. But I was like, I'll probably post a picture like, oh, this made me throw up, or I didn't do good on my run because I got sick because of this new product I tried. I was totally not the right person to market her product. And so she's like, just trust me. She believed in her product 100%. And so many times I see, as I have over the last since 2014, is that maybe you don't believe in your product like you should. You're not grounded in the fact that, you know what, I don't know exactly what zinc does, but I know now that since I've started using zinc, every professional, holistic, every medical area is talking about zinc. So there has to be something to it. I don't know everything there is to know about elderberry, everything there is to know about CoQ10, but I've done some research and I know that these things are good for my body. They're good to help me perform, good for my body to be the best version that it can for whatever I'm walking through, whether, I'm in my physical peak strength or I'm, laying on the bed, so wherever I'm at. And that was the thing with Amber. She trusted in the product. Yes, omegas, aminos, like all the things. She trusted in the product enough that she was not worried whether I was going to have a bad effect or adverse effect or something happen on that run that would, ruin her business or anything like that. Because she knew at the time that if something was going on and if I was feeling my vitamins, it was something she could work through. And she had her leadership that was absolutely willing to get on the phone and walk me through those things. Well, I will tell you, when often I tell people and I remind them when they're walking through something sad, I'm like, if you didn't feel sadness, you wouldn't know what happiness felt like. If you didn't feel, if you were never discouraged, if you had never missed a goal or you had never fallen short or something, you would never know what that true feeling of reaching a goal is. And so for me, I knew what feeling bad felt like. I knew what struggling felt like. And so for me, when I had energy, when I felt good gut support, now I will say, if you're going on a run, this is just a runner's tip. Decide not to do your shake before you run, because how many of y'all know that it gets your body moving and that gut support? If there's not a porta-john or porta-pot on the run, you could be in trouble. And don't take your balance the night before a run, okay? Because the balance and then the shake mix, it's like a total great cleansing, but just saying, don't do it before you run, okay? So for me, I knew I felt different. I knew that something had changed, and I messaged her and I said, I don't know what's different. I don't know what this stuff is, but I need more of it. Now, at the time, definitely surrounded by a lot of people in law enforcement, not because I was in jail, but because that was the community that we were surrounded by. We had a lot of people, police officers, narcotics work, so many different things. And I wanted to make sure, not because I was going to be drug tested, but that the other people that were doing some of the arrests and things like that, they better not pop hot for a drug test. And at the beginning, we got so much opposition about, oh, I failed my drug test. I'm like, you've been smoking on that cig weed. That has anything to do with my Thrive. But I had to know not only what I was putting in my body, what my friends were putting in my body. And so my confidence, if you hear me talk about the product, you will know that my confidence comes from early. Late at night. The very first call that I made was to a friend. She's a cardiovascular PA. And I called her and I said, hey, Regina, I need you to tell me that this product is not going to kill me, that it's, good for me. Like, I've never heard of it. I'm not getting it from a doctor, what do you think? And she said, oh, Chast. She's like, I tell people to take Thrive all the time. Now I flipped out because I'm like, no, nobody's ever heard of Thrive. I had never heard of Thrive and I didn't live under the rock. And she's like, no, yeah, she went on to tell me about CoQ10. She went on to tell me about Will Bart. She went on. And because I trusted her and I had known her for years, I literally was like lit. And Amber can share, and sometimes she posts it on her Facebook, but here's the thing. Going back to that little girl, that very often in life, I had to close my eyes and visualize that I was somewhere else while trauma was happening in the middle of my life. And there were times as a little girl that I'd have to just pretend I wasn't where I was, or I had to take myself out of of the situation, that physically trauma and things were happening to me, but I could go to Disney or somewhere else in the middle of that space. And I thank God all the time that even though I didn't realize then what I was experiencing, the trauma and all of the things that were going on in my life, that it would prepare me for such a time as this, that when this woman saw an opportunity, when Amber said, yeah, like there's people, maybe there was one, I don't even know that there was a millionaire yet in the company. I don't remember, but she said, you can make money. I sent her a message before I even ordered, and I was a customer. I signed up as a customer. And so before even getting product or anything, I'm like, I could share this with my friends. I know my friends that are tired and exhausted. I know my friends that are faking it till they make it. I know my friends that they got a Louis Vuitton, but the wallet inside that Louis Vuitton, every single credit card is maxed out. I knew who I could share with, and I never doubted for 1 second, because I could close my eyes. And if she said, this product works for people, it's changing their life, and also there's a financial, then I said, well, then I'll be a millionaire. So very quickly, I clicked that promoter button and I sent her a message and I said, remember promoter XYZ? I said, we're going to be millionaires. And if you know Amber, she has this funny laugh and she's like, ha, ha, ha. Yes. And I said, no, we will be millionaires. Now we have 13, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember all of them, but 13 millionaires, 14 plus maybe in this organization. And it started with a belief that if other people can, I can. If other people could have breakthrough, that I didn't have to spend another season not being the mom that I needed to be, not being the wife. Can I just be honest with you guys? Unfortunately, my dream was to be married and happily ever after and run off into the sunset. And that's not my story. That's not my truth. But as I look back on the years that I saw my marriage, my relationships, my life falling apart, it was a pattern. It was a cycle. It was the same year. It was the same season. It was the same October, same November. And so I had to realize it's me. It's me. And if what was causing me to struggle was me, then me was who was going to fix this. Now, did everything fix overnight? Did things happen? Yes. And I've still had those ups and down journeys continuing. But I will say I never doubted myself that if it has been done, it can be done, and it can be done by me. So I'm going to tell you, friends, it has been a hard journey, working full time, going through several different things. As I've been on this Lavelle journey, I've unfortunately walked through divorce. We've walked through trauma. We've walked through loss. And has there been times where I've wanted to throw in the towel and just say, you know what? I've set myself up where I owe no man but to love him, and we're in a good space. And let me just kick back and ride this thing out. But every single day, I think about you guys. I think about the new person coming in. I think about, what if Amber would not have introduced me to this product? I don't know where I would be. What if I was still, trudging through corporate America? I was at the top tier of my ladder. There was no other place to go on my corporate ladder other than over. And so, I look every single day, Lisa, and my goal is every single person, and y'all can see here on my wall, these are y'all's faces. And if you're not up here, it's just because I'm such a holy hot mess and I haven't updated my things, but I see your faces. I mean, I see Danny right there, and I could literally look, I see Danny in a photo. I see Lisa in a photo. I see so many, Tabitha, I see Pam, Benita. I mean, I see your faces. And it's not enough to realize, I see Brooke, I see, so many people, and people that have gone on to different things, that have gone on to their 67th new thing. And I'm like, come back. I feel like, what is that show? The Titanic is like, come back. I feel like I'm telling people, come back. And when you know what the product can do for you, you can't not tell everybody. when you know what the business can do, you can't not tell everybody. So when someone calls me and says, I want to give up, I want to quit, I sit there and say, I don't bash them. And I'm like, girl, guy, I know what you're going through. I have been there. But guess what? I am so thankful for the days that I persevered and didn't give up. That message that you get from that one promoter that says, oh my gosh, I love the product, it's changing my life. You save that and save that in a folder that is a pick-me-up folder. Save that video, save that recorded message. This is Tuesday, payday Tuesday. Some people will gripe and complain and they're done and they're miserable. Then you're going to get those other messages that are saying, oh my gosh, this allowed me to put gas in my tank. I needed tires, and this allowed me to have, the not have to put the tires on a credit card. But since 2014, what I have seen, and I know Lisa shoots it straight, so she won't mind me shooting it straight. What I see now is people that have watched me this whole time, people that joined me in the beginning, and they got that auto bonus. Many went 80K, many went 200K, and they got comfortable. They quit working the business. They stepped back, and now the auto bonus is not a reality for them. They are not enrolling anyone new. They quit talking about the product, quit taking the product, and now they're at 2,000 in sales, and they're like, how do I make this work? Well, they're not asking me how do they make it work, because how you make this business work every single day is you wake up on an empty stomach, you take capsules on an empty stomach, lifestyle mix, you decide what DFT you want to use. Then how do you work the business? You post, you let the world know. And if you're not on social, you don't love social media, then you better be in Messenger, you better be in text message, you better be having conversations, because how are people to know? Well, no. You've got to work this like my impact depends on it. Yes, my family's been impacted, my family's broke, but now my impact depends on it. I want the stories. I want Lydia to message me and say, hey, you said 200Ks, 80Ks can host a retreat at your house. Come on, sister, let's do it. I want Danny to say, you know what? I've secured my girls' college funds because of this business. That is my impact. That is my fingerprint, my one little fingerprint. Now, y'all know if y'all are mamas, dads, fingerprints are everywhere. You can clean a mirror, a window, and 2 seconds later, there's fingerprints all over it. That's what you're doing in this business. 66 days ago, friends, I was not sure the trajectory of my health, but I was thankful that I made health a priority in 2014, and I didn't wait until it was too late. I was thankful when I couldn't have gone to corporate America, couldn't have, I would have used up all my PTO, short-term disability, all of those things. I still knew that I had a business that I had busted my butt and worked for day in, day out for such a time as this. And so right now I have a burning desire. I am that annoying person. I am that annoying friend, but I'm going to tell you, it will be annoyance by telling you how much I believe in you, how much I believe in this product, how much I believe in where we are right now, how much I believe that you've got to step out of your comfort zone to grow. And you have everything in your hands that I have. I don't try to sugarcoat where I've walked and my peaks and valleys, because I know that that's part of the story. That's part of what makes me who I am. I have had a taste. I've had a taste of what financial freedom feels like, and I will never go back there. Not because I'll just quit working the business. I refuse to max out my credit cards because I know what financial peace feels like. I refuse to do things that I can't pay cash for, because I know what it feels like to write a check for $50 worth of groceries and write that check for $100, and that $50, hoping that check floats and not bounces, that $50 is going to get me and my girls through, oh, Danny, I just read the first part of it, but get me through that week. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I have. I share with you guys that when I got earned my auto bonus. Paul Gravette, Amber calls and she said, Paul Gravette wants to talk to you. I'm like, what's a Paul Gravette? Like, I had no clue even who Paul Gravette was. And then this fun-loving, energetic guy that was just like over the top excited gets on the phone and says, you need to go get a BMW. You need to, don't be buying Louis Vuittons. And I'm like, who is this guy? And does he not know me? Because I just had bought a Kia car, had a sunroof. It had pleather seats. I had never had pleather seats. And nobody else had owned it before me. That was the first time in my life that I had a brand new car. And now this Paul Gravette is telling me to go buy a car. What I didn't realize is I had teenagers that were about to be driving and they were going to need another car because I wasn't trying to be the taxi. That was before Uber. I don't know if y'all remember before Uber days. We sound so old, but I realized they're going to need that car. And let me see. I'm trying to think. I don't want to lie. I don't even want to go into it because I'll screw up how the history of it. But my very first Lavelle vehicle, we have to have it within the 5 years. It was used. I think I had 3 more years left on it, but it was a used vehicle. But it fell way under the auto bonus. So the auto bonus covered my insurance and my car payment. And this was a win-win because I needed that for my children. So I was smart. Yes, I could have gone out and bought the latest Escalade and all those things. And I'll tell you, I shared with you that we had a lot of people in law enforcement that joined our team in the beginning. And as fast as things moved, we had people pulling up. We didn't have a whole lot of product. So what I was having to do is scoop the powder into a little baggie. So here I am. I don't have a baggie, but I'd have a little baggie and it'd have white powder. And then I'd have the little bitty baggies, like the little jewelry bags. And then they'd have little pills. So this is what I'm handing out my door. And my neighbors are thinking, oh my gosh, they have lost suspicion. It was crazy. Well, then very shortly, all these people start rolling up in Cadillacs and Lexuses, and they're like, oh yeah, they're definitely slinging dope. I mean, I knew she was a troubled teen. I just didn't know it made its way into her adult life. And so, it's so crazy because people didn't know. They didn't know what it was. We had people in the local CrossFit, Lisa, you remember the story, that we started Flex Friday. This team, who you are a part of, you started Flex Friday. We did, okay? So when Amber sent me that product and I was going to, pretend to vomit or whatever it was going to do, I said, hey, thanks for this little green thing. That is how this process started. I didn't know what a Flex Friday. I didn't even know what a hashtag. I thought the hashtag was the pound sign or the number sign that you push after, you hit the little number sign. So hashtags, we weren't even discovering those yet. And Flex Friday became a thing on a Saturday, and the rest is history. And so if I could share with you one thing right now, rekindle your flame. Rekindle your flame. That's something I do every single month is I go back and I look back on the month and I go, what could I have done differently? How could I have done more? When any of us leaders get together, we start, sharing our truths, and we're like, yeah, I really haven't done as much as I could, or I haven't, done this or that. And we have a check. We don't sit around and go, oh yeah, I suck. No, we're like, you know what? I haven't reached out to as many people as I should. I have gotten comfortable. And guess what? Comfort is great until you get a non-auto ship check, or you get something that you're just like, you have a wake-up call. But instead of using that to go, oh, my business sucks, I can never rebuild, use that to rekindle your flame and go, how many honestly people have I talked to new? How many people have I exposed to the experience? How many of my team have I sent that text message like I used to do in the beginning? Guys, I used to be a texting crazy woman. Hey, get on the call. And they're like, Chas, we know, we get the emails. I'm like, okay, great. Then I'll see you there. I used to send those text messages. How many people now are you like, oh yeah, they're just not doing the business anymore. They don't want to. You don't know that. Maybe they're waiting on you to send them that message and go, hey, join me tonight for this call. Grab your glass of wine, grab your soda, grab your water, whatever you want to go. Meet me on this call tonight. I'm super excited. Even if they're not doing anything, they're running an auto ship so they can get a paycheck. maybe just maybe that text message is what gives them a little spark and says, you know what, I think I will dial in. So I said all of that, Lisa, without taking a breath, but can we celebrate the breaths right now? And the fact that I can just throw all that out there. Y'all were in a great place when I couldn't breathe as well as I needed to, because I couldn't talk as much, but y'all are in trouble now. I have a new appreciation for my lungs. I have a new appreciation for my voice. I have a new appreciation for my message. And y'all are going to be hearing a whole lot of more from me. So Lisa, I'm going to let you ask me any questions if I haven't left anything about my life story out.
I was just going to say, you're definitely feeling better.
Yes.
You're definitely feeling better. And I mean, there are a lot of people on here that don't know that you were sick, like not that long ago. And I mean, I think like times like that, and you couldn't work your business. You couldn't. Like, how grateful to know that the paychecks were going to keep coming and nobody could fire you from your job. Like, your family was still taken care of. But I also think going through a time like that, like you got for, I mean, pretty much the first time since you joined Lavelle, you experienced that feeling of having to get started again. And
Lisa,
you know,
I will say, since I've worked since I was 14, and I mean, I had kids, but I will literally tell you, I had one of my daughters, I called into work to let them know that I couldn't come in that morning, but I went back to work remotely real fast. I had my gallbladder removed and I went to work real fast. I mean, I could go back to work since I was 14. So to be honest, 66 days ago was the first time in my life that I have been where I just could not work. I mean, that's my reality.
yeah. And I mean, I think about like just the fact that, I mean, just being through something like that and thinking about like not having to think about what other people would have to think about going through something like that. And also it gains like you gain an appreciation even more for life, but your business and everybody in it. And I think that I think that people just don't understand what they're working towards sometimes, and like what that means until you walk through that, until you go through something like that. But I wanted to kind of like ask you, just, along the journey of the last, man, how many years have you been doing this? 8?
Since
You've been in
25.
Lavelle 8 years? Yeah. In that time, what are some of the things that you feel like you see people do? I mean, you kind of touched a little bit on, I feel like, consistency, because I think that's where a lot of people get comfortable. Like, I think if people on this Zoom right now were super honest, that have been in this business 3, 4, 5 years, and they got really real with themselves, if they're not happy right now with where they're at, or if they've lost rank, a lot of them did get comfortable. And I've been there. I've been doing this 12 years. There's times where I get comfortable. I'm like, dang, even my worst paycheck, I'm like, well, that's way more than I made waiting tables in a year, so you justify it. But what are some things, I mean, besides that lack of consistency, what are some things that you've seen people do or see people fall into, or mistakes people make that, set them back in their business, whether it be like, getting distracted with drama, or getting brought down because people are leaving your team, or, the millions of different things that can happen. What do you feel like are the biggest ones that people need to like watch out for or not do?
Well, I think it goes back to just those habits that we've formed for ourselves. And, I can tell you it's taken years of work, but every second that, I was able and I was having a good time, I had to watch it, because my good time, when I was in the hospital was like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. And, I committed to my family that I wouldn't be on social media. It was, overwhelming and things like that, but I could still go into my cloud. I could still do what I could in between the highs and the lows. And what I find is, when I talk to people I had some people here this weekend for a retreat, and one of them was started with me back in the beginning, and she got a good job outside of Lavelle. And she loved it. She's super passionate about it, and things are great. So the Lavelle business just took a back burner. She walked through a divorce. She walked through different things. And so it took a back burner, sorry, back burner. And y'all are supposed to laugh there. Okay. But anyway, the thing is that now where she's now transitioned into a new department, things like that, now she's working for a new boss. And so life has now happened, and she's like, oh my gosh, I let this business slip out of my hands. And it's that regret. And so it's the habits, and then the regret, and then the guilt. Instead of covering ourselves in grace, determining what habits we need to implement, and then picking ourselves back up. I shared with you guys, I didn't know which day of the month it was. I didn't know where I was, but I would ask my friends. I'd ask, if I texted Lisa or Natasha or Courtney, I'm like, what day is it? And they would say it's Tuesday. Well, here's the simplicity of this habit I've created in this business, even leading you guys that do multiple millions a month in sales. It's Tuesday. Okay. It's Transformation Tuesday. I know I can post something about that. It's Wednesday. Okay. It's Wellness Wednesday. It's Friday. It's Flex Friday. There were some Fridays it was like flip off Friday. I didn't feel nothing happy about Friday, but I knew in my mind that it was Flex Friday. It was end of month. It was wherever it was, you can always jump back in. That's the beautiful part of this business is you just start. We're like Nike, and Campers said for many years, we're like the Nike of nutrition. And that's so true with the business and the product. You just do it. You just start over. And many of you could go back, and you don't need me to tell you, you don't need your leader to tell you, but if you were to go back to Time Hop, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to look at that. That hurts. You know what? You need to feel it. You need to see what it was you were doing back then that you're not doing now. Well, we can't gather like we used to. Okay, that's fine. But you can gather via Zoom. Okay. I was sharing the product with everybody, but nobody wants it. Baloney. We have new people coming in every single day. So there are people that want it, but you do have to go out and find them. You do have to get yourself connected, to different people, different communities. If I'm talking to the same people over and over and their timing is not right now, then their timing is not going to be right now until they're ready. So I've got to be talking to new people that's just a part of this industry. And if you say, well, life has happened, life has changed, well, evaluate what is it that life has brought you through. And, I try not to talk about it all the time because I don't want to give glory to that season in my life. But, can y'all hear me okay? Somebody say yes, Lisa.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I will tell you this, and guys, please don't post this or share this or make medical claims. But when I was feeling defeated, when I couldn't work, I got COVID, got double pneumonia, got COVID, and ended up in the hospital for 11 days, high airflow, 5% away from ventilation. And I'm thankful every single day that I wake up that God didn't allow me to be ventilated. I do know ventilation helps, people, gives them the strength to come back. But I asked questions. And when I realized the things that they were telling me to take, things I should be taking, things I need to take when I go home, all of these things were things that are in our product. You talk about a deeper level of confidence in your product. I already believed 1,000% in our product, but it took me to that next level where the second someone asks me, what vitamins should I take? I'm like, our vitamins, Lavelle's vitamins, Thrive vitamins. Now, do I take, an extra Golly is something that has, maybe a little bit more, might have an iron or something else? Yes, absolutely. And I don't worry about sharing with them something else I'm taking because I know what this product is that I have. And as you said, Lisa, I have had that opportunity to realize, guys, I'm not naive to think that this business just keeps on rolling and going. What's going to happen is I quit working. My people that have joined me underneath me, they can surpass me. They can work harder than me. They can outwork me. And that's a beautiful part of this business. but I stay in the game because I know my why is my fingerprint and my impact on all the other people's lives. When I was in the hospital, it was not that I was massive covered in prayer because just people wanted to have something to do. That was because I've done life with you guys, because I've walked through journeys. I have been that prayer warrior for you. I have put the business aside. I have met people where they are and said, you know what, despite the business, how are you? Despite the business, how can I help you? And when you serve others, when you are in a servant position, whether that is to serve them with the product, serve them in leadership, serve them in their areas, that doesn't mean give it away and don't be wise with your business mindset, but understanding when you serve others, you never know what you're going to need. And so for me in the beginning, it wasn't about just, yes, it came, but it wasn't about just building millions and millions. It was about building layered leadership. And when people ask me and when they interview me or they, ask me to do something or speak about my success, I said layered leadership. Without that layered leadership, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Because that means someone has to pick up a Zoom when I can't. That means somebody can mail out samples when I need to. That means that when I had a retreat planned for the weekend that I went into the hospital, we spent thousands of dollars. And I just said, obviously I couldn't be there, but the leaders just stepped in and everybody showed up and everything just flowed. That is when you focus on others and not yourself. So since 2014, yes, I've been building a legacy. I've been building a success for my family, but I've also been very intentional with creating leaders that can step up to the plate and people that I know are committed to this product and committed to this opportunity. Friends, maybe you're not meeting the right person right now because they're skeptical, because there's a lot of noise going on in the world around them. Maybe you're just, you're struggling. Go back to the first time. Go look on Facebook. What was the first post that you made about Thrive? Some of us, it may have been not a good post, like, oh, I tried that product, it didn't work, it sucks, it's going to kill people. I'm not calling anybody out, Lisa Fuller, but hey, what was your first, when you started being excited about the product? Well, I don't want to be a commercial. I don't want to be, you know what? We have commercials all the time. And I'm not saying that you have to be a commercial. Our social media has changed. People hate being marketed to. They hate, all the things that, sign up. But literally the other night when I posted, my rest and something else, and then I used the hashtags like Z and zinc and vitamin C and vitamin D, people were messaging me. Oh my gosh, I've been looking, I've been studying, I don't know which is the best vitamin C and the best. I said, look, I don't know. I'm not a vitaminologist or whatever. Ooh, is that a word? I want to be that. That sounds like a cool title. When someone says, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a vitaminologist. I don't know. I want to make that up. So I might use that. I might actually use that. So just tell them, I don't know everything, but all I can tell you is my experience. People that came through, I had people that may even message me. So are you, is your Thrive business still going? I know you had a setback. I'm like, not only is it going, but it's thriving, it's flourishing. And now that you message me, I'm going to tell you about this business. I'm going to tell you about this product because I'm over the top confident in what I have my hands on. I knew before, but when life happens, you have a tendency, you can either be bitter or you can be better. And what I did was I took this opportunity. I sat in the quietness of being isolated and being alone and being set apart and was able to look back on the last several years and go, thank God that I said yes to this product. Thank God for my health, that I was already putting the good nutrition in my body, that I was already, can you imagine going through a life situation in your mind already being in the gutter, already been in an imploding? I will say that a lot of times, people that, you read statistics and they, go through a medical crisis or something like that, or even the world right now, if you're already in a dark, very low place, social media, life circumstances, it's just going to friends, it can take you out. It literally can take you out. And that's why I'm so passionate about self-development and growing your mindset and growing your belief in what you have and in your, and taking a look when you log into your cloud today, if it is in abundance, take the time to be grateful. Take the time to be able to write it down. And if it's not in abundance this week, can you just look at what you've been able to make in however long you've been with us? You know, what have I been able to make with this company? And if you're not there and you're not in the other place of abundance for this check or the total, then look at where you can be. You're surrounded by people that are saying, look what this can be for you. It does take work. It takes overcoming opposition. It takes believing that you're worth it. It takes believing that you can lead. It takes believing that you can deal with all different personalities. And if you can't, you can self-develop through it. It takes taking your product and using your product and being able to say to someone, I'm so thankful that I made health a priority before health was my only option. So as you go through and you get ready to set your goals, and I know if you've read Jason Camper's book, his book said he wasn't a writer down of goals and all of these things. That's why hearing from multiple leaders is a beautiful thing. If you're not a writer down of goals, can I challenge you to do something different? If what you've been doing hasn't been working, take the time. I already turned on the window unit, AC unit in the Serenity shed, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to spend some time alone where there's no internet signal, where there's nothing that can distract me. And I'm going to write down my goals for September. First and foremost, my personal goals, then my spiritual goals, my financial goals, my business goals. And I'm going to write those things down and I'm going to have a heart to heart. And I'm going to say, Chas, why haven't you already been running, you know, a mile a day or whatever? Because I was freaking on oxygen. I couldn't help that. Life happened and I can't change that past, but I can change the future. So I give myself grace. It was physically not possible. And maybe you've had something in your life where it's physically been impossible for you to work your business. Will this month be the same? And if it is, and you're the one that can fix it, friends, don't stay the same. Take an opportunity, take advantage of what you have, the product and the business opportunity, and just say, I'm going to put one foot in front of the other and I'm just going to keep moving. Stay consistent. We do this in this business. Boom, high, low, high, low. We're bipolar network marketers. How about we learn to level out? And in the seasons that are high, we're like this. We're just riding and kicking back and chilling. And when it's low, we're still just kicking back and chilling because we know how to handle it. We know that the ups are going to come, but we don't just go so high that the second that something hits us, we fall to the ground. So Lise, thank you for having me on. And I'm excited for traveling and seeing all our peeps.
Yeah. And I want to mention that really quick. You guys, listen.
Listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. I cannot even express enough to you guys how important it is to get to something, because a shift can happen in your business when you get around like-minded people and when you hear it in person. We're going to be in Toledo, Ohio. Like, I'm serious. If you're within 5 hours, it is going to be worth the drive to do it a full day training. We're going to do lunch. The dates are out there. We're going to be in Minnesota. I don't even know where else. We're going to be other places.
Syracuse.
Oh yeah, Syracuse.
And we're tentatively trying to throw something on the schedule for Arizona, even if it's just a meet and greet, because I will be in town for the 38th special concert. So we're going to try to put something together. We're trying to get to any of the places that are cold and snowy right now, because y'all don't want this Texas girl trying to drive in that.
Yeah.
Right?
And we're going to make the warmer trainings in the winter, like, Florida or Phoenix or Atlanta, or, the nicer places. You guys, I can't express enough. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I look at the number of tickets and it's free, you guys. We just need you to get a ticket because, Chas and I pay for lunch and stuff like that. We just need numbers. But just showing like tickets right now, I'm disappointed. I'm like, okay, people need to show up. Like, if you want to get your business going, that's the way to do it. If you want to get in a better mindset, I mean, that's the way to do it. So I just want to urge anyone that, look, get your ticket and come. bring a guest. We're doing a Friday night local, Saturday full day training in all of these areas. And so worth it. Grab a team member, grab a friend that's not even in Lavelle, have them come with you. I mean, hey, come. And then also, I'm so excited because you and we do a lot of retreats, and you actually have a like sanctuary. That's what I call it at your house, where you literally have built your backyard to hold these retreats that are so amazing. And the one thing that we find every time we do these retreats is it's never really anything that's business related holding people back. It's personal related. It's things they've dealt with in their past or self-limiting beliefs. Or so, you and I were talking and you're like, you should do something self-development. So I am doing a self-development master course. Starts tomorrow. Over 600.
Hey, how do we sign up, Lisa?
Well, over 600 people are already in the group waiting. They got their workbook. There's still time, you all. And I'm excited because 600 people, like, this isn't going to be really Lavelle related. Y'all are welcome to invite anybody you want.
Okay, here's Lisa. Here's a perfect example of what happens. So I was here when you dreamed it. Okay, so I was in the dreaming phase. I missed out that y'all got a workbook and there's a group. So Courtney Good, somebody, Shannon, send me the link so I can get connected. But what happens at this point is people say, oh, well, I missed it. I can't be a part of that. No, I'm jumping in. Somebody tell me how to get connected. How do I be a part of it? That's the difference in somebody that will have success and that won't. They'll shift that mindset of, oh, Lisa already has 600 and I missed it. No, Lisa has 600. By gosh, I'm going to be 601. So don't think that when you see opportunities, you can't jump on it. So I wanted to interject that because you asked about, when do we see things? And that's a perfect example where people would be like, oh, I missed it. So I'll be interested to see how many people you have in the end finish.
I'm excited. And you don't have to have a book, y'all. Like, this is just a book it's a workbook I found on Amazon that I really, really loved, and just suggesting it, but you don't need it. So don't go, well, I don't have the money. No, this is free. And it's all about getting your mind right. And I feel like if we can get our mind right in September, we can kill it the rest of the year and hopefully starting in September. So Chas, you're awesome. I love you. I can't wait to travel with you.
Can I ask a quick question, please?
Yeah, what's up, honey?
Sorry. Just for everybody who wants to know, how do you feel about children at these meet and greets, like older children or whatnot?
Oh, can people bring their kids? Chess, yeah?
Here's the thing. Absolutely. We never want your why to be an excuse. But here's the thing. It's proper etiquette. If we're having a conversation and your baby's crying, let me snuggle them. No, just use your discretion. But we never want someone's why to be their excuse if they can't come. Now, if you have 15 kids and they're all running around underfoot and we can't train, that might be where we may say, friend, so that's the only thing, but never, ever anything that we do, you're doing this for your family. So don't let that be what holds you back.
Amen. A to the men. Use your discretion. Your kids start screaming, you just take them out of the room quick. Like, it's just common sense, y'all. We want you to be there. Like, that's the thing, is that you overcome whatever excuses you're using right now. You guys, it can be a game changer. So I'm so excited, you guys. It's Tuesday. We just got paid like 3 minutes ago. Enjoy your checks, whatever they are. And no matter what your check is, do what Chas said. Like, that's when I humble myself. It's like, if I get a bad paycheck, I then go add up my paychecks for the whole month and I'm like, oh my God, shut up. Like, really? Why am I complaining here? So, get your minds right, but we're coming into the last season. We're literally the last quarter of the year, and everything we do, you guys, right now through end of December, is setting us up for the biggest year in Lavelle. Like, I think 2022 is going to be mind blowing. And if you want to be set up, you got to start those right actions and practices now. So, Chas, thank you so much. I love you, love you, love you. Love all you guys. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place. Different leader will be on sharing their story. We'll see you guys next week.